My name is Bryant. I'm the owner at BKW Bookkeeping, and in this video I'm going to show you how to reconcile your accounts within QuickBooks Online. You can go to Transactions in Reconcile here. The first step of reconciling any account is making sure all the transactions are recorded for that account. You're going to want to reconcile your accounts every month, and it's going to be reconciling your bank accounts and then also your credit card accounts. So typically you do this every month. Kind of the trigger point will be when you receive either your bank statement or your credit card statement, because that's going to be what you're reconciling to. So essentially you're matching what's in QuickBooks to what's on your bank statement, and those should agree. There should be no discrepancies between the two. And that way when you reconcile each month, you know that all the transactions have been recorded, they've been recorded correctly. There's no duplicate transactions, there's no misrecorded transactions, maybe there's a different amount than what's on the bank statement. You're basically doing a double check of all of that every time you receive either your bank or your credit card statement. So let's say I received my credit card statement for this MasterCard, but again, before I can reconcile, I want to make sure that all of my transactions for that card have been recorded. So let's say that this is just for November. I'm going to go in and make sure all of my transactions have been recorded here. I'll just match these quick. And again, it's really good practice to do this every month with all of your bank accounts and all of your credit card accounts. If you don't, then you may find yourself in a situation where you have a year's worth of reconciling to do. And not only does that become time consuming, but especially if you're trying to go back and look for past credit card statements, it's just easier to do it as you receive them during the month. And really, make sure that everything's reconciled as you go. Because if you find, a misrecorded transaction, or maybe the bank had misrecorded a transaction, you really want to handle that as it happens within the month, as opposed to going back months later. But now that I have all the transactions recorded, I'm going to go to Reconcile. The first time it may have this Get Started screen and give you a couple directions, but you'll eventually reach this screen. You're going to want to click the account that you want to reconcile. So in this case, it's going to be the MasterCard. And then this is a pretty important screen here. So this beginning balance will already be filled out. It'll either be what you had reconciled it to the last time you reconciled this account, or if you haven't, then I haven't ever reconciled this account. It'll be 0 here. So the statement ending balance, this is what's going to be on your actual credit card statement or your bank statement. So you want to match the amount that's there. So in this case, I have the amount. I'm going to put that, and that was what's on the credit card statement. And then the statement end date, again, this is going to be on your actual statement that you received from your bank. And you're going to want to select that end date that corresponds with that balance. Then you'll click on Start Reconciling. So here, the first thing you'll notice is there's already some transactions highlighted. And these are going to be transactions from the bank feed in QuickBooks. So they're kind of going to be already checked off as recorded and matched. But essentially what you're doing here is you're looking at all these transactions. Usually I'll have a physical copy of the credit card transactions, or the bank account transactions, have a physical copy of that, and just simply matching them. So I see it on the physical copy and I see it here, so then I will check these, and you're just going through making sure the amounts match, the dates match. You recognize all of these transactions. A lot of times you'll be able to think back and recognize it. There's nothing on here that you don't know about. And once you do that, and you're kind of checking each one of these, you'll see that your difference goes down to 0, and that's really what you want. So you want to reconcile that difference down to 0 to the point where your QuickBooks matches what is in your bank statement or credit card statement. So once you've done that, another extra check you can do is just make sure each one of these fields, nothing looks off. Everything kind of makes sense. You can use this filter button. In this case, I don't have too many transactions during this period, but if you have hundreds of transactions, this can really be helpful to drill it down. And similarly, you can filter it by just charges or just payments. But again, you're just checking these transactions that you match on your credit card statement, and the goal is to get this difference to 0. So kind of some common things that you may find is either a charge, the amount doesn't match what's on your credit card statement. And in that case, you'd want to just back out, change the amount, make sure that it matches, or you may find a dupe within QuickBooks. Let's say this $150 transaction was recorded twice. Similarly, you'd want to just back out, delete one of those within QuickBooks, and that way you would tie out to your bank statement. But once you've done this, then you can come up here and click Finish Now, and that's pretty much it. So you've reconciled this account. You can see the balance due. You have $123 due on this credit card, and then when you go to reconcile it for the next month, this $123 will be your beginning balance. So before it said 0, but this the next time you reconcile, it'll be $123. And again, very, very good practice to do this every month. Stay on top of it, stay on top of your finances, and be in control of your business finances. So that was everything I wanted to cover here. Certainly let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.